I would like to discuss about waiting for the right relationship. We are not taught to wait for the right relationship. We are programmed to go for any relationship that's going to give us some kind of experience of the moment, right? And we have all kinds of experiences in relationships, and they're all for learning lessons, right? But there comes a point when we have to discover within ourselves what kind of experience we want to have, because this earth is full of experience, right? And if you're not direct and intentional, you can have any experience. You can have any relationship experience, but why we practice our morning sadhana or why we practice meditation is because we don't just want any experience, right? It's just like you don't just want some Tom, Dick, and Harry, right? Or just some Jane Blaine, right? So becoming more direct and intentional is how we're able to basically cut out all of this, a lot of people in this mindless relationship, in this sort of miscellaneous relationship where they're confused, the partner's confused, and then just this back and forth confusion, right? We want to be able to clear all that out, and we want an experience that is going to be along the lines of our direct intention. So we have to ask ourselves, and this is, getting real with ourselves. And a lot of times we're not real with ourselves in relationships of what we really want to experience. And it's going to be different for each and every one of us. And as we continue to grow and mature spiritually and emotionally, we're going to clear away a lot of, the karmas of past lives and ancestral karma. And we'll start to emerge more as our authentic self. So really the journey is mostly with you uncovering your authentic self, and that has a lot to do with you getting to know you spending time with you becoming independent, you becoming sovereign, you becoming dignified, right? Where you have a practice, you have a ritual, you have a routine where you're starting to learn what it means to be creative, right? And to fill your cup, to feel nourished and feel supported by the universe, right? And to connect with your talents, your gifts, your craftsmanship, right? Because it's going to make you feel whole, right? And the most confusing thing about relationship is when we are trying to fill in a void, right? That's very, very confusing. And usually that doesn't really that gives us an experience, all right, but it doesn't really give us the experience, a greater experience of our fulfillment, of our strength, of our wholeness, right? Of our emotional and spiritual evolution and revolution, right? That ecstatic, sensational experience of love or unconditional love or partnership is when we are showing up for ourselves first so that we can be nourished, right? So that when we are in collaboration and synergy with this individual, that we are coming from a place of the authenticity, right? A lot of times, we have sex because we feel pressured. Oh, my brother had sex, so I'm, or he's having sex, so I'm gonna have sex. Or, my guy friends, they like this girl, she's whatever attractive, so I'm gonna go have sex with her, or, that kind of thing, and that is not the authentic self, right? That is the part of ourself that is confused. And the more that we kind of go into that direction, the more we're going to be confused about what is the greatest experience I want to have. And a lot of times that will not reveal itself to you until you raise your self-worth and you raise your self-esteem. And on this planet Earth with this human condition, that's something that you have to work towards, right? It's very easy to just settle for whatever experience the earth will throw at you, because this earth and the magic show of it all, and the manipulation and matrix of it, they'll throw you experiences. They'll seduce you into this. They'll give you these kinds of programs of, this is what you're supposed to have, and this is the kind of experience, the only type of experience you'll have, and you'll buy into it, right? But the great sort of that just victory, right? The victory in our spiritual and emotional side of ourselves is about challenging what you're presented, and how we do that is we raise our self-worth and our self-esteem, right? And there's so many practices, modalities, remedies, methodologies of that support that raising of the self-worth and the self-esteem. And that's really the only way we're going to be able to really uplift ourselves, uplift our spirit, so that we can align with a relationship that's going to amplify the most authentic version of ourselves, right? So, a lot of us, we have karmas of the parents, the ancestors of society. We have past life karmas, right? And that can present itself as insecurities, right? It can present itself as we're going into relationships that are not bringing the best out of ourselves, and we know that, right? When you see a relationship where it's activating the authentic version of themselves, you can see a radiance within these individuals. You can see a sort of courage. You can see a genuine enjoyment and joy. And I think a lot of us, why we don't wait, is because we don't believe that's possible for us. So in that time that we're not waiting, or, waiting is not necessarily, sitting at home watching Netflix and just waiting for a partner to knock at the door, right? Waiting is about, you're allowing yourself to grow, and you're not forcing or pressuring or pushing yourself to be something, or to connect with something that you're not sure about. So really that waiting is about you getting clear, right? You getting direct and intentional, so that when you do go out into the world, you're going out with a level head. You're not going out in the world and, I'll have you, and I'll just do you, and I'll do that, and you know what I'm saying? And then creating all of this sort of more confusion, and then these soul ties, and then these kinds of what we call these shadow relationships, right? That are based off of just maintaining this lower vibration within you, right? Because the Matrix, the magic show, will give you all kinds of partnerships that will help you just sort of remain in a lower vibration, right? But it's up to you, and really it's only up to you to kind of break through, right? To break through. So the waiting for the right partnership is really about us going within ourselves to really get brutally honest, right? And many times we'll have partnerships or friendships, acquaintances. The universe, if you're genuine, the universe will show you, like, it will give you visions, it will give you feelings, it will give you even friends, or it will help you to navigate through your what's holding you back. But you have to be a participant, right? And it's easy to just go into a confusing relationship where we're not really all the way into it. We're kind of not really wanting to look at ourselves. We're somewhat kind of unavailable, or we're just going it for just the friends like it, or whatever that is. It's so easy to just get into that. But the authentic self is the gold mine, right? It's the gem. It's the real precious thing about ourselves. It makes us highly magnetic and very radiant. And I think with waiting, even like a lot of women and men are practicing like celibacy, and practicing kind of slowing down a relationship, right? Practicing more courtship, and practicing more of what it means to companion ourselves, right? Before we sit there and trying to go, whatever, searching around with running around type of thing, right? And a lot of people are in that place of waiting, to wait, because they understand the value in connecting to your inner virtue, right? And it does raise your vibration, right? And whatever it is that you align to, or whatever it is that you are genuinely aligning to, you will receive. That's the law of attraction. That is, you reap what you sow. So, when we're in a relationship, we want it to be clear, right? So, a lot of people in relationships, it's confusion. There's uncertainty in the way that you or this person is not committed, or is not even committed to wanting to see this through with you, or wanting to grow something with you. And that's the real sort of the wait, right? Wait for an individual who is wanting, just like when you go the depths with yourself, who also wants to go the depths with you, because there are people out there who want to do that, right? A lot of times we're thinking, oh, people are just uneasy, or people are nervous, or people have childhood trauma. There are people, if you are aligning yourself with your authentic self, there are people who are doing that, and there are people who want exactly what you want, or who share the same vision of you, right? Or people who meet you halfway, right? Nobody's perfect. We all are trying to navigate this human experience the best we can, right? But there is an individual who will give you clarity, who will give you a pathway, right? And I think the more that we focus on the clear pathway within a relationship, the more we're going to magnetize that to us, where the relationship is just going to be so synchronistic, where, this person, if let's say this person was married, they're divorced, they've cleared that out, right, of whatever emotional, spiritual, attachment they may have, right? It'll just happen synchronistically. You won't have to kind of try to get them to open up, or get them to heal, or get them to want to connect to themselves, right? It will just happen, where we'll just attract somebody who's at that place where they're ready to receive, right? And it's not for us to focus on that image of the person. It's more so focused on the image of ourselves, because I'm telling you, the timelines, the possibilities for our future, and partnerships we can have, is really on how we show up for ourselves at the end of the day, right? Because we can have these partnerships that are somewhat half of what we want, or so what we want, but we can actually, in the authentic self, attract exactly what we want. We just have to be willing to get honest with ourselves. And the people who are honest with themselves, and that's going to build up your self-esteem and your self-worth, the more likely we're going to connect with our virtue, right? Our talents, our gifts. We're not going to be so scared, and not going to be so shaky. We'll get a level head, and that's going to naturally be in a space, higher vibrational space, where we can attract partnership that is going to want to create with us. And that's really what partnership's for, right? Is we want to create something with this person, right? Masculine and feminine, it's the perfect creative engine, right? Perfect creative machine is when these two forces come together, right? But we have to awaken the creativity within ourselves, and the creation that is moving through us, right? Because we can play the confusion and the soul ties, and this isn't really what I want, and I'm not really fulfilled, and why did I settle for this, and I should have waited, like that kind of guilt, regret, sort of uncertainty in the way that we're not clear, we're just kind of just going through the motions of it, right? Or we can really, really, put awaken the intuition, right? And really get honest with ourselves, brutally honest with ourselves. And that's going to build up a strength within us so we can clear out just the magic show experiences that really don't give us the self-esteem or self-worth we need to really reach high levels of creativity.